Communities Action in Solidarity and Association Jesus Solidarity invite you to listen to the Living Gospel. Today, July 23, let us meditate on the Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 13, verses 24 to 43, with commentary from Father PatxiLoidi in the voice of Frix del Rosario. Proclamation of the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew. He gave them another parable, saying, The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seeds in his field. But while his people slept, his enemy came, sowed weeds among the wheat, and left. When the crop sprouted and produced fruit, then the weeds also appeared. The master's servants came up to him and said, Master, did you not sow good seeds in your field? How come you have weeds? He answered them, An enemy has done this. The servants said to him, Do you want us to go and pull them up? He answered them, No, lest when you gather the weeds, you uproot the wheat at the same time. Let both grow together until harvest. And at harvest time, I will say to the reapers, First collect the weeds and tie them in sheaves to be burned, and gather the wheat into my barn. He gave them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed that a man took and sowed in his field. It is certainly smaller than any seed, but when it grows, it is bigger than the vegetables, and it becomes a large bush, to the point that the birds of the sky come and nest in its branches. He told them another parable. The kingdom of heavens is like yeast, which a woman took and put into 3 measures of flour, until it was all fermented. Jesus spoke all these parables to the people, and he spoke nothing to them without parables, so that was spoken by the prophet might be fulfilled. I will open my mouth in parables. I will announce what is hidden from the creation of the world. Then Jesus dismissed the crowd and went home. And his disciples came to him, saying, Explain to us the parable of the weeds of the field. He replied, He who sows good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world, the good seed the children of the kingdom, the weeds are the children of the evil one. The enemy that showed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. In the same way, then, that weeds are collected and burned in the fire, so it will be at the end of the world. The Son of Man will send his angels, who will collect him from kingdom all who cause others to sin and all evildoers. They will throw them into the furnace of fire. There will be the wailing and grinding of teeth. Then the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. He who has ears, let him hear. The word of the Lord. Father Patsy's commentary. Dear friends, the parable of the weeds denotes a lot of wisdom, formed with many years of contemplation and reflection. Science is a body of knowledge. Wisdom is a compound of prudence, intuition, insight, moderation, good work, and the ability to advise. The person who teaches us the parable of the weeds carries many years of meditation. Of course, poisonous weeds have to be uprooted. and if possible, destroyed. But weeds are mixed with wheat. Let us take care not to uproot wheat along the weeds, not even expose ourselves to do it. Before the wheat and the weeds, let us ask ourselves, which is the greater evil, leaving the weeds or uprooting the wheat along with the weeds? The lesson that comes from this question is that we have to learn to live with the social weeds. Learning to live together with them is not leaving them to do what they want to do, letting them grow and harm. Living with weeds means enduring the inevitable evil so that it does not cause greater evil, controlling it, setting limits, imposing sanctions, etc. These concerns must be placed above all with respect to children who can be harmed by evil. In short, we must combat the weeds while avoiding further damage. But there is another aspect to this. Weeds are also within each person. No one is pure wheat, and none is pure weeds. All people have wheat and weeds in different proportions. What we need to analyze ourselves and know our weeds. And here, within each person, the same advice that we give to the society is valid. Know how to live with my own weeds, control them, fight against them without destroying any of my good qualities. Let us learn to live with our weeds, fighting them with patience and success. Parables of the mustard and the yeast. The mustard. The passage says that its seed is smaller than other seeds, but that the tallest vegetable comes out of its smallest seed, a tree, sheltering the birds of the sky, which nests in its branches. The reference to the church is very clear. How many people were in the upper room in prayer when the Spirit came? A few. That capital begins, grows quickly, without any means, and it has housed in its bosom all kinds of people. Later, force was used, not military nor economic force, converted the Americans and the Philippines, but the missionaries, the majority poor. Yeast. It is a great little parable about the mission of the church and the world, about the lady, a protagonist, a woman, something that no other teacher would have dared to do. They were flattered. The amount of yeast is very small, the mass to ferment massive. These are the two facts that tell us about poverty and humility. And why is it a parable for the lady? Pope St. Paul VI tells us in the following words, "Lay men and women have the specific mission of making the church present and operative in those places and circumstances in which only through them can it become the salt of the earth. It corresponds to the laity, by which own vocation to seek the kingdom of God, dealing and ordering, according to God, the affairs of the world. They are to contribute from within, like leaven, to the sanctification of the world. It corresponds to them very especially to illuminate and organize all the affairs of the world in such a way that they carried out according to the Spirit of Jesus Christ, even in the structures of the world. The proper and immediate task of the lay women is not the institution and development of the ecclesial community. That is the specific function of pastors. The proper field of his evangelizing activity is the vast and complex world of politics, the social, etc. Following the Gospel passage, let us go back to the parable of the weeds. Once at home, his disciples said to Jesus, "Explain to us the parable of the weeds of the field." The components of the parable are well indicated in today's passage, but they seem almost unnecessary because it is clear just by reading the parable. The sower is Jesus, the field the world, the good seed the children of the kingdom, the bad the children of the evil one. The one who sows weeds is the devil. The harvest will take place at the end of the world. The reapers are the angels, that is, the servants of God. The weeds are collected and burned at the end of the world. There is not much to comment on these points. Prayer. Fighting with patience. How attractive are your teaching, Jesus! How transparent, how simple. The women heard your stories, delighted to be the protagonists. Let us not uproot the wheat along with the weeds. Neither waste your energy in overcoming the smallest flaws. Be patient with yourself. Even pure water is not completely pure. There will be a stone in the way in the most advanced societies. Let us take some time to get them out of the way, and let us not dream of revolutions. Let us liberate spaces damaged by evil, legalized robberies of marginalized people. Let us be the good land. Let us take to other lands to become good for God and the world.